all know how this begins. It is the American Doofus Show. Oakley, no chewing. Don't chew on the rug. No. Be good girl. It's the American Doofus Show. I'm your host, Barry Welsh, and we are live Wednesday post-debate, and also we're going to do a little Q&A as the evening rolls along. I'm going to open up with the president. As always, we'll end up with a decent amount of folks in here discussing things as we go along, and everybody that watches. I thank everybody that participates, everybody that has helped this little thing to grow into what it has. So I'm gonna open up and just I'm gonna do this here. I'm gonna open up and talk about. I'm a political analyst. Okay, I'm a former candidate. I've been involved for a long time. So I took notes as the debate progressed, and I'm just going to share my notes from the debate. The first thing I wrote down was that I can't help but see Maya Rudolph from Saturday Night Live when I looked the first time I looked at Senator Harris. Second thing I wrote down was that Pence went low on the very first answer he gave, accusing Joe Biden of plagiarism. Third thing, Pence ignored time limits multiple times, which is disrespectful to the format, but nowhere near what his boss did. The first, what they call presidential debate, it was a presidential debacle, in my opinion. But both sides sidestepped a lot of questions. If anyone, and I wrote this down, as I said, I'm reading in order. So I wrote this down about mid-debate. If anyone changes their mind or makes a decision based on this debate, I think it will lead towards Harris, because she came off as a very confident, competent, strong Black woman. And she also came off as very supportive of at least some of the ideas that the Black Lives Matter group and not the organization. There's a big difference between Black Lives Matter, the organization, and Black Lives Matter, the attitude, if you will, or the movement. So I think she might have helped to solidify, or to bring some of those that thought, I'm not going to bother voting, that are registered, because chances are it's too late to register now. Check in your state, and if you are in one of the states, if you're one of the viewers outside of the country, I definitely love you all. Thank you so much for checking it out and sticking with us once you did. The next thing I wrote down was making China an enemy is not wise. It's not wise now, or it's not wise ever. Now, you don't want to fear them, but you don't want to piss them off either. So I found Pence's talk about China a little bit troubling. Breonna Taylor, next thing I wrote down. The Breonna Taylor decision came up as part of the national dialogue, as it should. And two very different answers. Senator Harris said she did not feel that that justice was done. Mike Pence pretty much said he had faith in the judiciary. That might have swayed some in one direction or another. I think the story of the night is going to be the fly on Pence's head. I think that is what will be. It will definitely be the main take on various the Tonight Show, things like that. It is on this show. It's the story of the night. That's that picture with the fly on Pence's head, and it just sat there, and he didn't know it was there, and it just sat there, and he didn't know it was there, and that will end up being the story, but it shouldn't be, because to me, at the end, that's when the real story came out. The question. Trump loses and refuses to leave if he loses. And Mike Pence not answering that question, especially if you support the United States Constitution. If you're a patriot and you support the Constitution, it's more than just the Second Amendment. We got to support them all, okay? It's more than just the second. The second is important to all of us in times like this, because we all want to be able to protect ourselves and those we care about. But there's more to it than the second. And I know you all know that. I just like to remind you every once in a while. And Pence refusing to answer that question was a little troubling. As someone who supports the Constitution, he should have said, I support the Constitution of the United States and the peaceful transfer of power after an election. It wouldn't have been that hard, but it's another signal that is not what's coming. So that's the last thing I wrote down. So if he won't, does that mean that when there is a war, if there is a war amongst ourselves, it is going to be Trump supporters against everybody else? That's even the thought of us getting to the point where we want to kill each other is frightening, but we're there. Mike Selinker and I had a discussion about all of this and and how things could play out. My vision, my scenario is that we don't have an election, that everything breaks out on Halloween, and that we end up under martial law, and that guarantees there is no transfer of power, at least at that particular time. And that's not the way America works or is supposed to work. But it depends. America working depends on faith. It depends on the ability to disagree but not disrespect. And it depends on the ability to compromise. And we're losing all of those things in America, in my opinion. So that's what I wanted to talk about, and my impression of the debates. I think Pence accomplished what he wanted to do, give the Trump message sophisticated and acceptable manner than his boss did, or his boss probably will do in the future. And I think Senator Harris proved herself a very worthy contender, and I personally would not have a problem if heaven forbid, I'm not trying to speak this into reality or anything like that. If something happened, I wouldn't have a problem with her being the president. Mike, on the other hand, wrote a book. The book's called Mike and Me, and its subtitle is How a Democrat Became a Hero of the Alt-Right. Beginning of his life. Came from a Democratic Catholic family, and he's morphed. Okay, so before the debate, I put a video up, and I had some thoughts about some different things. And before I get to the live comments over here, and again, thank you everybody that's watching, and thank you everybody that's commenting. Before I get to that, I've said before, YouTube sends me emails, or sends me an email with comments in it from previous videos that they think I should see. And I want to read one from Judd Hurst. I don't think Judd's in the chat at the moment, but I asked the question that why isn't there room for all? Why isn't there room for the NFAC doing what they're trying to do, and the NFAR doing what they're trying to do, and the new Black Panther Party doing what they're trying to do, and why is there so much bickering back and forth? And it's because I wanted the knowledge. And Judd said the reason so many people are hating on Grandmaster Jay is actually very easy to understand. You have all of these groups out here. A lot of people have made a lot of money. And here comes a guy who's not doing much talking, but a lot of walking, who's building an organization despite all the odds, not because he's selling something, because he's giving people a chance to stand in and do something other than donate to a website. And the other groups are losing money. It's that simple. The same reason I, as a cannabis producer, have the biggest enemies, not from government agents, but from big alcohol and tobacco and wineries. Because here in Washington, people would rather smoke weed and enjoy their life than get drunk and lose control of their life. And it's times like this that I wish marijuana was legal all across the United States, because it's not here in Indiana, by the way, not even for medicinal purposes. And but if it was, I would think it'd be a real good idea for people that thought they hated each other just to sit down and smoke a bowl of some really good herb with each other, and maybe not want to fight so much. So I gotta from past experiences, and he makes a real good case for why so many people are following the NFAC. And I've said a lot that the NFAC is not going to be for everybody. The NFAR is not going to be for everybody. It's tough to find one group that is for everybody. So I think it would, but it's just my opinion, I think it would behoove everyone to it's your thing, do what you want to do. I think and keep moving the movement forward. And why do I say all of this? Because I've said before, two main reasons. I want peace, number one, and I want equality, and I want justice, and I want freedom for everybody, not just for select, okay? For everybody. And when you've got a significant group of a population that is not getting treated justly, it's going to be hard to have peace. No justice, no peace. While it's a phrase, it's also a reality, because there will be another, and there will be no peace once again until we eliminate those situations. And we got to do that together, in my opinion. Those of us that are of the mindset. And I got a couple of more of these I want to read, and then we'll get some. Let's see. And in all honesty, once again, I'm not much of a drinker because it gets you out of control. And I agree with Judd on that. Much respect. I like your diverse mindset. Holly Love, thank you so much. I watch your show often. You truly seem to be unbiased, which I can appreciate. You also get other perspectives. I tried to do that, Sandra. Here's the one I was wanting to get to. It's Louise. And let me get down to where, and then I want to jump back up to a couple, I think. Two things from Louise. Taraka, I think is how it says. Taraka. And I apologize. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Okay. He is not racist. He will gladly come on your show. Great solution to generate the necessary reparations in regard to how you helped propagate a predatory militia group. Moorish World TV will speak on your show. You should call in his next show and ask. Thank you. I'll do that. Well, I don't know if I'll necessarily call in, because I don't have a phone number to call in. But the next time that I see that he's live, I'll just hop in the comments and politely, with respect, ask if he'd come on my show, and I'd be happy to go on his show. And I don't know about if I've helped propagate a predatory militia group, but okay, if you think just because I have a different perspective on NFAC that I'm propagating a predatory militia group, then I can understand how you would think that. But that's not my intent. I started talking about Grandmaster Jay and the NFAC because I saw everybody talking about him differently than what I was actually seeing, and I just have a different perspective on what he's trying to do. He's trying to create a homeland, a starting point, a base for a Black nation, and he's going about it in a way that seems to be effective. Are all Blacks going to want to be part of that? No, they're not, for whatever reasons, and that's okay. That's my whole point, and really trying to do all of this is that it's okay. It's, two things can be true at the same time. And, and if, you know, if there are enough people that want to start a separate nation, after everything they have gone through, why shouldn't it be considered? So many times I hear, if you don't like it, leave. And that's what he's trying to do. Now, again, is it going to be for everybody? No, but I'm not going to slam him for what he's trying to do. If it turns out he is a government agent, then, I'll look like a doofus, because I think he's just somebody that seized a moment in time and grew something, because he's very intelligent, very charismatic, and he has a message that some, at least, and not an insignificant number, because we don't know how many, and it's none of my business. But he has a message, and it may not be for you, but that doesn't mean that the people it's for should be derided or should be somehow thought less of, and vice versa. For those that follow his message and see his vision, or just are trust. Try not to think too much about my connection is suddenly becoming unstable. Please wait while we try to reconnect. Okay. Said my connection's becoming unstable. Please wait while we try to reconnect. And I think we are reconnected. And, I'm just making an observation. I would think that there's room for everybody. It's your thing. Do what you want to do, and not focus so much on what others are doing. That's my job. That's why you watch me, so that I can talk about what others are doing. And one thing I would like to be doing is I'd like to be at Lakeland, Florida on October 24th. General Delta Django and the Angry Viking are going to be there. And we're going to have Delta Django back on the show before too long. And I'd like to get Grandmaster Jay on the show, because I think this is one place that isn't going to be setting any traps for him, or trying to ambush him in any way, shape, or form. I'm just going to ask some questions and let him talk. And it would reach, even though small, it would reach an audience that he doesn't normally reach. And I hope he considers it, because I think I have treated him and the whole organization very fairly. And I don't know. I would like to have. I really like hearing that I may be able to get the host of Moorish World TV on. I don't want to disrespect him in any way by mispronouncing his name, so I'm not going to attempt it, especially without my phone open, so I can read how it should be properly pronounced, because I want to give him all respect. And I'd like to get the Angry Viking on at some point, and it may be October 24th in Lakeland, Florida. The Angry Viking is having a rally there. He has invited General Delta Django. General Delta Django has invited me. And I need to raise a little bit of money so I can go down there for the weekend and live stream everything. I'll live stream, I'll take still pictures, I'll take recorded video in case something happens with the live stream. But if you want to help do that, you can go to the Cash App, which is $American Doofus, all one word. And I can't put up, yeah, I can. I'll be able to put the link up to the GoFundMe page in the description or in a comment once we stop the live. And excuse me, I had to get a little Mountain Dew to wet the whistle. Let me go back to some of the comments from earlier. Because there was another one from Louise. Mr. Welsh, could you please review the data in regard to the new Black Panther Party for self-defense and consider reparations? It is clear that NFAC tried to infiltrate and colonize the NBPP while they were reorganizing. And I am going to, I'm going to look into that, Lois, and I'll probably end up doing an episode on it. Pardon me. Pardon me. The email's long, but I have read it and I will look into that, and I'll either do an episode on it or I'll do a segment in one of the episodes, but I will look into it. And a question from Browning Maxis. This is the one I wanted to close on. Actually, I want to read one from Marie Antoinette after this. Browning asks, serious question. How does Grandmaster Jay differentiate from any other person attempting to establish a cult or other form of separatist group? To me, say violence against others. The guy incites folks against America, whereas other groups congregate to bring Americans together. That's a very legitimate question. He has a second question. Why are groups that try to separate Americans getting praise, but the guys that try to unite Americans of all skin color or creed being shunned or shunned as antagonists? Browning, that's exactly what I'm trying to do on this show. Is I'm trying to bring Americans of all skin colors or creeds together. This show isn't about separating. It's about reaching out and talking to people and hearing other perspectives and respecting the other person talking and letting them talk. That's the second part. And I understand that, the NFAC is an all black militia. And for some, they look at that as a racist group because they are all black. And I've said before, I understand why he's doing it that way if you're wanting an all black nation. And it's, I understand if you let one white guy in, then it's somebody else's white friend's going to want to get in. Pretty soon you don't have the representation of black power that he's trying to achieve and has been able to achieve so far. And I think a lot of people are overlooking this. Each and every time that they have shown up, the NFAC, and they always show up when and where they say they're going to. Okay, first of all, you got to give them credit for that because not every other group does that. And they show up with enough. I've always said this. How many? NFAC by the numbers it's enough. It's enough. It's enough. It's enough. What are the exact numbers? I don't know. You can go back probably and watch and get an idea, but it's always been enough. And I've also said before, what he's trying to do um, is never have a fight. Be so strong and powerful. And again, that's just my opinion. I'm not speaking for him. I would like to have him on the show, but I've never actually talked to him. And if you happen to be watching this at some point, somebody cuts this out and sends it to you, Grandmaster Jay. I'd like to ask at least, I don't know, 20 minutes. And one of the questions I'd like to ask is, why is there not more national media attention being paid to what you are achieving? Because each one is historical. And is it because of fear? Is it because of the government doesn't want attention drawn to what you're doing? I really like, I'd like to talk about that and a few other things as well. But let me get back. And each time I talk and the phone locks back up. And that's why I wanted to bring that up, because it was say violence against others, the guy incites folks against America, whereas other groups congregate to bring Americans together. And he is trying to separate. He is trying to form a nation, and to those that don't, that looks like a bad thing to those that don't want that. And it doesn't mean either one's right or wrong, because it may be a good thing for those that do want it. It may turn out to be a great thing for those that do want it. And it may turn out to be a disaster. But it doesn't mean either side is right or wrong in what they want their lives to be. That's American. And I wanted to end with Marie Antoinette. Come on. And I thank you all. Like I said, usually YouTube sends me like one or two comments, but there were some outstanding highlighted comments that they Marie Antoinette says that I can't speak for NFAC yet. I do believe the general is trying to change the negative narrative about his people in the world. Unity, being together to straighten out families, show his people it's a better way to handle situations by policing themselves and stopping crime in their communities before it starts. Yes, it's different parts that has to be fulfilled, yet he's doing one part. If others do their part, the black race wouldn't be negatively put out in the media. The media will be forced to find another race to highlight their narrative on. Look to be like the MBP, NFAR, and many more can still do as they like. It's not a competition. And that's the reason I wanted to read that and end on that, is because, I don't think it should be a competition. And I personally, especially if I can raise the funds to get down to Florida and be able to document history, I'd like to see the NFAC roll in to Lakeland in force, and actually just have a major dialogue between Grandmaster Jay, Delta Django, and the Angry Viking, and just talk about how maybe personal and personality differences should be set aside, and people that care about the safety of their communities should talk, especially that close to an election. It's probably not going to happen. I would just about guarantee it's not going to happen, but it would be nice. And do it with everybody's got their own person documenting it, and then I'm in there as the independent documenting the whole thing, and have the truth come out. And Angry Viking says he's not a racist, but he's got a problem with Grandmaster Jay. So let's sit down and talk about it. Let's don't sit down and attack each other. Let's sit down and talk about it. Why not? Just an idea. All right. Few comments. Yeah, WWE. World Wrestling Entertainment. Okay. Nobody seems to have any question. A lot of comments, a lot of good comments. Jay Morgan, Angry Viking is worthless. He only cares about how much he can earn. He doesn't even hate GMJ. It's all about money and the spotlight for that muscle sissy. I did notice in watching it, it's constant that, and I feel like a hypocrite for doing this because I'm asking people to help me get to Lakeland, Florida, but it's constant, the Cashapp and Vimo and all these different platforms, and in the comments it's always, hey, buy merch, hey, buy merch, hey, buy merch. Yeah, but that, hey, it's it's a capitalist country, and that's what capitalists do, try to make money. So it could all be, like I said back in Louisville, my hope was it was all, like championship wrestling, and everybody came out, sold some T-shirts, and went home safe. So all you have to do is ask GMJ. You will never understand his point of view without our dialogue. I'm and many more are on board with it. Yes, I know you are, and I would love to. If you can get him this video, this is a formal request, Grandmaster Jay. I would love to have you on for a few minutes, or as long as you want. And gosh, I would look forward to it. And I think it's a place that, again, I think it's a place that you would be safe to talk, and tell me what I'm wrong about, because I've been talking about you for a long time, and come on, and I'll shut up and listen to you, and I'll ask a few questions, and I think we'll both enjoy it. So there you go. There's a formal request, please, with all respect. Whites need to respect our agenda, whether they agree with us or not. I agree with that. I agree with that. Like I said, if if the agenda um, if the agenda is leaving, then I sure don't understand why all the people screaming, if you don't like it here, leave, um, are against him putting the things in place to leave. Um, it's either incredibly ignorant, or you don't want to hear what's actually being said, or you're not aware of um, what's being said. I don't know. I struggle with it. I wish it'd be a lot better place if more people just decided that, you know what, if I don't like what somebody says, I don't have to shout at them. I can just walk away. And um, Isabel, the people that act like they hate Grandmaster Jay really love him. That's why they troll him and hang on his every word. Okay, well, that's an opinion. Um, and Felicia, let's have you be the last one here. We're at 11:30. I think you should have asked him before you had Delta and the people that slandered him on. I don't think you would get him on now. You're probably right. But see, I didn't, I, I'm not about slandering anybody. I don't talk too bad about anybody. Um, I think it would be, I think it would behoove him to come on now and answer some of the things that have been brought up by others, because he has proven that that he has a plan, a step by step plan, and things are advancing, and possibly advancing faster than he could imagine. And I just, I'd like to offer him the opportunity to come on here and answer the questions that other people think need to be answered. As I said, why is the media not recognized? That would be my first question to him, because I don't get it. If they were, um, Mike Selinker, who's the war game designer from Seattle, Washington, if the media were giving what's happening the proper coverage, he would have known about the NFAC and known about Grandmaster Jay. So it's going to be streamed. The revolution is going to be streamed, whatever shape or form it comes in, and whoever is in the location to do it. But the truth won't be televised. The truth will only be streamed. I'm glad all this is happening. It's just showing us our enemy. Yeah, shining light on these white supremacists it's all in the plan. That could very well be Link. I've had some vibrations, for lack of a better word, that a lot of things are meant to happen, and I've said this before. I feel like maybe for the first time, in my life. No, I can't say that, but for the first time in a long time, I feel like doing this show, I'm doing what I need to be doing at this point in history. And I don't take it lightly. It's an honor that that all of you that watch. It's an honor that all of you that have subscribed have done so, and all of you share and like, and you know, you can become a member. And Cash App's americandfus, all one word after the $sign. And this is, I keep getting this this one YouTube channel. Sorry, it said the connection was unstable. I think we're back now. Okay. I keep getting this one YouTube channel with this person that has prophecies. And I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if there's a connection. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk to this person, if I'm supposed to ask this person on the show, if I'm supposed to just listen and know, or if it's just a massive coincidence. And but yeah, we could use some divine intervention, in my opinion, in this country. We could use some we could use some love. We could use some peace. We could use some just stepping back and if nothing else, step back, stop hating each other, and let each other be. We'd be a lot better country if that was the case, but it's not. And we're going to get by until we're not supposed to get by anymore. And I love you all. I thank you all. Again, if you can, I'm a fourth of the way to the money I need to get to Lakeland. It's $400 bare bones. That's car, rental, hotel, and flight. And I'm at $95. So if you can help, please consider doing so. Drop 5, 10, whatever you feel comfortable with, so I can get down there and live stream whatever happens. And hopefully it'll be a positive, and it'll be a start towards understanding. And if not, it could be a very troubling day, and I don't hope for that. Before I sign off, I want to remind you, Saturday, I'm going to be on location and live in a little town called Brookville, Indiana, and I'm going to start at around 11 o'clock in the morning. There's a predominantly white school in Brookville, Indiana, and the librarian had put up a Black Lives Matter brochure in the in the library, and in the current events section, it's a glass case, current events, and put up the Black Lives Matter pamphlet, and it caused a disturbance. And this little school, some students have been having protests, small protests, to demand equality. And Saturday, there's supposed to be a little larger protest for equality. And there's also going to be something called a peaceful patriot rally. Now, these are going to be primarily at the same location at the same time. 80% chance, 85% chance probability of nothing but peace and the groups will probably stay separated and be separated. And it'll just be a nice hour or so of seeing the events. But it's Indiana. And just a few months ago, July 4th weekend, I believe it was, if there hadn't been a person with a camera there, a black man would have been lynched in Bloomington, Indiana. 85% certain of that as well, that's what was about to happen. And so you don't think things happen in small places, but sometimes they do. So I'm going to be down there Saturday, probably come on about 11 o'clock. Again, depending on how things are going down there. Love you all once again. Thank you all. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so, and hit the like button and hit share. And we are going to have General Delta Django back on, because I want to ask him about. He mentioned that Grandmaster Jay was getting some alerts, and that some of them were about me. And I'd really like to know about that. So sometime in the near future, Grandmaster, or I hope Grandmaster Jay is on. General Delta Django will be on. We've confirmed that. It's just a matter of working out when. So boo, stop having Delta. We're not, this next talk, it's I don't think it's going to be as much about talking about differences between Delta and Grandmaster Jay. I really don't. So let's all keep an open mind, because again, we're trying to work for peace in the long run. That's my goal. So I hope Grandmaster Jay stay away from the doofus. Okay, well, I hope that's not the case. I hope he'll give me some time at some point. I know he's got a lot of things going on, and he was in Louisville yesterday, and I mean, the guy's filed papers with the World Court. He's done a lot of things that I'd like to talk to him about. I think it'd be an interesting conversation, and plus he's very intelligent, and he's a grown ass man, and the fact that people have said things about him. I haven't said so much on the show, but the fact that other people have said things about him, it probably doesn't bother him as much as it bothers the people that follow him, because again, he's playing a whole different game, and I've said it before. I think he'll end up being one of the most influential people in 2020 when it's looked back upon. Even though I don't know what percentage, but a whole bunch of Americans don't know anything about NFAC yet. They will. And they'll know about NFAR, and they'll know about other groups that, the young man in Louisiana, sleep is for the rich. What an awesome name. that's a charismatic young man, and you'll see more and more of those rise up. And unless um, unless somehow we can bring justice for people and bring peace to people. So I respect everybody's opinion, even those that don't get what I'm trying to do here. I respect your opinion, and I'm not going to devalue anybody in any way. And again, thank you for commenting. And tomorrow, I'm not exactly certain what's going to happen yet, depending on the schedule. But we'll be here tomorrow, and then we'll be back Friday night live for sure. And I hope you will too. I love you all. Thank you all, especially all of those of you in the chat, in the comments. One of these days, I'm going to ask everybody. Well, no, because it's nobody's business. I'm going to say see where everybody's from, but it's nobody's business where you're from. I love you all. Thank you all. I wish you all peace. I wish you all blessings. I wish you all. No matter what your religious connotation may be, if you're a Christian, if you're a Buddhist, if you're a Nation of Islam, if you're Jewish, if you're agnostic, no matter what you are, I truly wish you blessings. I wish you peace, and I wish you all a very good night. It's the American Doofus Show. I'm your host, Barry Welsh. Don't be a doofus.